England, Australia, as far as I'm concerned, they're the test matches.
Well, I think it all comes back more on the fact that there is definitely a war that goes on out in the middle. It's been going on now for 100 years.
An England-Australia series is the one, and you seem to try that much harder against England than anybody else.
Neither side gives the other side very much, and therefore it is very, very pleasant to have this opportunity to meet some of the greats of the past, which I have done during the last few days.
I personally am delighted to be here. It's a wonderful thing, and in fact, I expect some others have told you, one met people on the plane one hadn't seen before for years and years.
It's been a wonderful experience to come back and see these old players.
And then to see Larwood and these people in the flesh, it's been amazing.
It's been a terrific experience for me, and whoever put this show on, whoever organised it, I think the Queen, when she's here, should give him a medal.
The first test was played on the Melbourne Cricket Ground 1877, but it wasn't until I was just browsing through looking for something, I've forgotten what it was now, but doing some research, that I saw this date again, and then all of a sudden I realised that it was only 4 years away. And I thought, well then it's about time someone did something about it. And as the Melbourne Cricket Club took a leading part in the first test in 1877, I thought we should take the lead in staging some celebration for the Centenary Test to be in March 1977.
100 years of Test cricket, and many of the game's greatest players are here in Melbourne to celebrate the centenary of the first Test match, which started at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on the 15th of March 1877.
Qantas announces the arrival of QF2 from London via Singapore.
This is your flight service director. Qantas hopes that the former England cricketers here for the Centenary Test enjoy their stay in Melbourne.
And coming off Qantas Flight 2, the first arrival, and welcome to Melbourne, sir, to Mr. Percy Fender. Nice to see you here in Melbourne. It's wonderful to have you here for the Centenary Test.
Thank you.
Percy Fender, who played in 1920-21, the oldest member of the English party, and gentleman coming on behind him, Les Ames, who was the wicketkeeper, and the only wicketkeeper, I believe, in first-class cricket to score 100 hundreds. And I think you were out here last year, sir.
I was, and the year before, too.
Yes.
Yes.
A man who's been to Australia more often than anybody else, I think, is Colin Cowdrey. Colin, I think this is your trip number, what, 7 or 8? Is
7, that's right, thank you.
Not this time as a player.
That's right, no, very pleased to be here, thank you.
What of the news that Tomo's broken down, I suppose, that when you saw you... And coming up now is a former captain of England, and I think sometimes, Ted Dexter, you often fly light aircraft rather than travel on Qantas.
Well, I used to, but it's got rather expensive these days.
Mm-hmm. Mike Deness, who captained England in the last tour of Australia, and Mike, we've made the mention here that you actually captained England to its last win over Australia in Melbourne. This was in 1975.
That's right, in 75. It's a long time ago now, really.
It's 2 years back.
Yes, it is.
I think
probably what we'll be looking for this time is Tony Gregg's side trying to do a similar reaction as we did in that 6th Test match.
And here's a great personality, Godfrey Evans, and can't shake hands. Now, Godfrey, you've acquired a bit of a beard since you were last in Australia.
Oh, is this a beard?
Or sideburns.
Yes. Well, you've got to do that, you know, because otherwise they would think I was as young as I used to be.
And so the players are all off the flight now, and it's again, it's a wonderful occasion to see these great cricketers, all of them who are available to come, a maximum number, and they're here in Melbourne for the Centenary Test.
On arrival at Melbourne Airport, a special TAA coach will be available to take the former Test cricketers and umpires to your official hotel. TAA offers best wishes for a memorable visit during the Centenary Test.
And here's the group coming from the flight from Adelaide, and some great personalities in the game here. We see Clary Grimmett. Welcome to Melbourne, Clary. Nice to see you here. Sir Donald and Lady Bradman here too. Nice to see you. Yes, Phil Ridings, Australian selector. Mel McGuinness. And in the flight we have, in fact, 5 Australian umpires, I believe. This is the total here. One of the great personalities to come across with the South Australian team is C.E. Nip Kalu, who played in the 100th Test from my memory in 1921.
That's right. In those days, just after the war, it was only 3-day matches.
Yes.
So you couldn't muck about. You had to get runs, but you didn't want to lose at the same time. So it became very interesting, but we had such a good side that I think in the end, of course, we didn't have any trouble in winning the Ashes.
Of all the personalities to arrive from Adelaide, I think the most popular is Clary Grimmett. Well, we can make a comment about your first test, Clary. Can you go back to it? Against
Yes,
England?
I think I can. I've got a picture at home of Willie, the first victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the match, from my memory, you took about 11 wickets.
I got 11 for 82, I think, altogether
Yeah.
in the match.
Well, you'd never forget that. And this is the biggest flight from New South Wales. And gentlemen, welcome to Melbourne on behalf of TAA. And in the front seat, we've got two of the greatest personalities of the game, Hunter Stork-Henry from New South Wales and Harold Larwood from England. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it very much indeed. Renewing old acquaintance and meeting new ones.
What about your travelling companion over
Oh,
there?
well, he's an old copper.
Very quiet. I'm looking forward to it very much.
Played this fella 51 years ago, Harold.
Yes.
Yes.
And who got who out?
Oh, well, we won't say.
Down the plane, Graham Thomas, Ted Wykes, Frank Misson, the Archer brothers, Neil Harvey, the Australian selector. How's it going, Neil? Colin McCool. Great experience for you to come down here to see some old mates.
Oh, it is indeed. It's a long time no see.
Now, the last contingent to arrive here in Melbourne are from Queensland. And first of all, we see just climbing up the plane is Ray Lindvall. Ray, nice to see you and welcome to Melbourne. It's going to be a great occasion. Thank you very much, Neil. Ken Slasher Mackay, nice to see you in Melbourne again.
Good.
Nice
to be here.
I suppose Melbourne brings back some memories for you.
Yes, certainly. Especially 58-59 series against England when we won that test match here. It was the way back for Australia.
And here's a man who qualified for this match on 2 counts. Is Greg Chappell, the Australian captain. Ticket here is a former player and has a modern player, Greg.
That's right.
Which ticket are you going to use to get into the ground?
I think it's a former player, the way I feel at the moment.
A man who played cricket before and after the war was Bill Brown. It's nice to see you here, Bill.
Thank you, Norman. It's lovely to be down here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tremendous week, I'm sure of that.
The management and staff of the Melbourne Hilton extend a special welcome to all the former players and umpires who are here in Melbourne for the Centenary Test. We look forward to making your stay enjoyable for the next 10 days.
In all, there are 218 visitors, and of the former players, 79 have represented England. The official sponsor for the Centenary Test is the Benson and Hedges Company, and the total prize money, $15,000, is the highest for a test match in Australia. England's team arrives at the Victorian Cricket Association reception, and here are the famous Bedser twins. Bobby Simpson and Bill Lurry, and there's Davo. Keith Miller and Ray Lindvall, Brian Statham and Frank Tyson, 2 old-timers, Bill O'Reilly and Clary Grimmett, and the Middlesex twins, Dennis Compton and Bill Edridge.
We are the original test match enemies, but when the battles are over, we can get together, enjoy a drink, discuss the game and enjoy one another's company. And that is what makes a test match between Australia and England something very special for both countries. I think the remarkable thing that will come out of this Centenary Test will be the wonderful friendships that are renewed. May this test match be not only an historic one, but also a memorable one, played in the true traditions of English-Australian tests, whatever that may mean.
Saturday, the 12th of March, 1977. A crowd which grew later to 61,000 watches the opening ceremony. Both teams are lined up on the field, and here are the former England captains ranging in age from the 70s to the late 20s. Australian-born Gubby Allen needs a walking stick these days. Freddie Brown coming through the gate, followed by Sir Leonard Hutton and Peter May, and finally Colin Cowdrey and Ted Dexter. Here's Jack Ryder leading out the Australian contingent, and there's a wonderful thing right behind him, Sir Donald Bradman, who's here, and Jack Ryder, of course, what an occasion. He held this test player. He played in 1920-21. See Ian Johnson just a couple back there, the secretary of this ground, and Lindsay Hassett, of course, the well-known ABC commentator now. So Jack Ryder, these men were better. Richie Ben over there. I don't think there has been a gallery or lineup of talent, of cricket talent like that in the history of the game.
I would doubt it very, very much indeed. What great names.
And as the players are all in position now, the former captains are there, and we await Mr. Bob Parrish to step up to the microphone after the appropriate fanfare.
Here goes.